Now, this week, Harry sat down for an interview with the author of the New York Times bestseller, The Anxious Generation, Jonathan Haidt, to talk about mental health. Here's a clip.
A lot of parents, give their kids phones at a younger age to keep them safe. Right, it's a double-edged sword. They want them to have their phone at school in case of an emergency. But once, like any kid, if you have your phone, even if you're told you're not allowed to download that app or you're not allowed to, kids have a way of working around. We're both dads. These apps have been specifically designed to hook and keep children online for as long as possible.
That's right.
Mindless scrolling. And during that scrolling, they have content that is pushed to them, content that they wouldn't otherwise go looking for.
Angela, we know this interview was centred around World Mental Health Day, and it's topical across the globe at the moment. What were the key highlights?
Yeah, the key highlights were, we saw there Harry talking about parents wanting their children to have phones. Jonathan Haidt, of course, wrote The Anxious Generation. I've read this book. It's a brilliant, brilliant book. And what's really interesting about it is this partnership between Harry and Jonathan Haidt. I think it's interesting that Haidt has agreed to do it, that interview, because he has obviously the momentum that Harry can bring to the issue. But likewise, it's Haidt being on screen with Harry is good for Harry too, because this is a man who's front and centre of this debate. In terms of the main points, of course, it's the fact that children are now more, as Haidt has argued, more overprotected in the real world and underprotected in the digital world. The conflict between parents in terms of their children, and the fact that this is a massive area of stress in people's homes. But in terms of Harry's positioning in this debate, I think this is really interesting, because Archwell has done some research. They're aligning with this subject, so they've not only got the sort of backup of research, but Harry is putting himself front and centre of this because, of course, he has had mental health issues. I think it is his next biggest partnership and his next big project. This is a global issue. It's where he can really affect some difference. It's sincere. He talks to people well about it. It addresses issues like mental health, as I said, suicide, self-harm. This is what they talked about during that interview. I think that it's spot on for his next moving, obviously still got Invictus Games, but as being a front and centre of his mind and in his agenda.
Yeah, I think that is a very interesting priority, and I do think it's something that he will continue to pursue. We've heard him talk about it so many times. And Angela, while I'm still with you, we understand Prince William and Princess Catherine are making a few moves, well, further moves, I should say, into the US with a number of projects that they're working on. This will undoubtedly ruffle some feathers. What's planned?
That's right. So this was an initiative that was started last year, but then put on hold while Catherine was sick. Basically, the palace have sort of said it's just paperwork, but the Royal Foundation, which of course William and Catherine are in charge of, they are making moves within the patents organisation in America to patent some health services in relation to the Royal Foundation. Now, on its own, that sounds like not that exciting. It's just something they would do as a matter of fact. But what's really interesting about it, of course, is that Meghan and Harry, they see America as their territory, and they're very much moving into the mental health space, which is what the Royal Foundation, one of their key pillars is. So I think there's some potential conflict there. I think it was fine when Meghan and Harry thought they had America to themselves. This shows that perhaps William and Catherine may be looking to expand their reach, which of course they will when William becomes king.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one that we will definitely continue to watch. Angela Mollard, Pandora Forsyth, thank you ladies so much for joining us.